The character of Fibber McGee and Molly's maid, Beulah, became so popular she was finally awarded her own spin-off series back in 1945. One strange thing about the role is, a female role, of course, was first portrayed by a male actor, Marlin Hurt, who also appeared as himself and as Beulah's boyfriend. But following Hurt's death in 1946, Beulah was portrayed by Bob Corley and by, at last, Hattie McDaniel, who had won an Academy Award for her role in Gone with the Wind. The role was also briefly portrayed by Lillian Randolph, Amos and Andy's Madam Queen, before her sister Amanda Randolph took over for the duration of the series. Randolph is best remembered for her roles as Kingfish's mother-in-law on Amos and Andy and as Danny Thomas's maid on Make Room for Daddy. So it's time now for Amanda Randolph starring as Beulah in Bill's Streetcar Lunchroom from January 26, 1954.
Time for the new Beulah Show, starring Amanda Randolph as
Beulah, a gal who's in love with a man named Bill. He hasn't much jack, but I'm still his Jill.
Yes, sir, it's the new Beulah Show, brought to you transcribed from Hollywood.
Love that man.
Now on with the show. Yesterday, Beulah suggested that Oreo Winston's boyfriend, Loose Tooth, open a little restaurant.
That's right. The only way Loose Tooth could keep from losing a job is to go in business for himself.
Well, can he handle it all alone, Beulah?
I doubt it. So my boyfriend is going to help him get started.
Does Bill know anything about restaurants, Beulah?
Does he? Well, he's known as the Duncan Hines of the Tums for the Tummy Set. Oh, excuse me, Mr. Jacobs. That's my knife and fork wizard now.
It's Bill, baby, your clinging ivy in a garden of love. We just bought an old streetcar from the city, and we're going to turn it into a lunchroom.
Hot dog! Meals on wheels.
If you really want to make sure we do a big business in the lunchroom, you can help us out.
Oh, what could I do, Bill?
Well, if you and Oreo could manage to get a few hours off each day, you could do the cooking for us.
Oh?
Do you think the Hendersons would let you take part-time off?
I can ask them, Bill. But suppose they say no.
Then Loose Tooth will have to do the cooking. And, baby, you know that old play called A Streetcar Named Desire?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Well, I'll be stuck with a streetcar called Indigestion.
More tuna and fish salad, Mr. Harris?
Just put some on his plate, Beulah. You'll never get his attention when he's buried in his newspaper.
Yes, Miss Alice.
Harry, will you please put down that paper and join me for lunch?
Oh, yeah, sure. What were we talking about?
Well, before you buried yourself in the comic page, we were discussing Donnie's future.
Oh, yeah.
And I do think that's more important than Little Orphan Annie's.
Little Orphan Annie's? How old is that kid by now? About 86?
At least, yeah. Now then, Alice, what about Donnie's future?
That's what I'm asking you?
Well, I think he should have one, by all means.
Don't you really think we should talk with him and see what his ambitions are?
I suppose we should.
Ambition certainly is a wonderful thing, all right.
Oh, yeah.
Would you folks mind if I had a little of it myself?
Well, we should hope you have, Beulah.
Of course.
Well, in that case, do you think we could make arrangements for me to have a couple of hours off each day?
Oh?
If it's to further yourself, Beulah, I imagine we could.
Oh, it's to further myself, all right, Miss Alice. I want to help Bill and Loose Tooth in the new lunch wagon.
You mean they're going ahead with the plan?
Yes, sir. And if Bill sees money in his future, then I can see a wedding in mine.
I'm sure we can work something out, Beulah.
Well, bless your heart, Miss Alice.
Oh, who's that now?
I'll go see Mr. Harris.
Okay.
Oh, hello, Beulah.
Why, Mrs. Dawson, come in.
Thank you, Beulah. Will you take my arm, please? Oh, the walk over here from my house across the street has just pooped my puny little body.
Well, are you still sick, Mrs. Dawson?
I'm always sick, Beulah. I'm just a long, quivering mass of aches and pains. Oh, there goes a shooting pain up my back.
Ain't got much to shoot at. It's Miss Dawson from across the street, ma'am.
Yes, Mrs. Henderson, just little old me, with my undernourished body and overactive thyroid.
Well, hello, Mrs. Dawson. How are you?
Oh, quite ill, thank you.
You don't look so well.
Oh, I'm so glad you noticed. Oh, well, Mrs. Henderson, I hope you don't mind my barging in like this, but I was wondering if you could drive by little Linda to dancing school tomorrow. I don't expect I'll have the strength to do it myself.
Oh, I don't mind at all.
Oh, you're such a dear. You have such pretty hair. Linda loves her dancing so much, and I'd hate to have her miss a class just because of me and my health.
Well, don't worry, I'll take her.
Oh, thank you so much, my dear. Well, I really must hobble home now and put on my elastic stockings.
Well, are your legs bothering you too, Mrs. Dawson?
Well, not yet, but there's no sense waiting until the last minute. Goodbye.
And a happy basal metabolism to you, Mrs. Dawson.
Let's pause for a moment. We'll return to Amanda Randolph in The Beulah Show right after these messages.
MediaBay.com.
And now, let's return to Amanda Randolph in The Beulah Show.
Hello, Beulah, my friend.
Oh, hello. Come on in, Harold, now, and just set the groceries on the table, y'all.
Gladly, my friend. Say, I ran into Bill and Loose Tooth in town, and they told me all about their new lunchroom, and you gonna do the cooking for them.
That's right, Harold. Me and Oriole.
Yeah? Bill said with you doing the cooking, they're bound to make a fortune, 'cause your cooking is just out of this world.
Well, I'm more at home on the range than Gene Autry.
And Bill said you made some roast beef last night that was so delicious, his mouth was watering over like a hot radiator in a 1923 Essex.
Oh, that Billy boy. He's so sweet. You know, Harold, I got some of that roast beef left. And if I make Bill a sandwich, will you drop it off for me?
Oh, of course I will, Beulah.
Well, did Bill say anything else about me, Harold?
Oh, yeah. He said if you said he was sweet for saying nice things about you, and you decided to make him a roast beef sandwich for me to bring him, I should tell you to put plenty mustard and lettuce on it.
What? That low-down schemer. He had this whole thing planned.
Ain't it so?
Well, I'll show him. He won't get anything.
Oh, now, Beulah, Bill's putting in a lot of work to help Loose Tooth. He's a very kind-hearted person, and he deserves something.
Yeah, well, I guess you're right, Harold. Well, maybe I will send him just a little sandwich.
That's nice. And Bill said when you got over being mad about him planning this whole thing, and you decided to send him a little sandwich, I should tell you to please make it 2 little ones.
What?
Yeah, and 2 for Loose Tooth also.
Oh, that Bill Jackson.
He seems to know you like a book, Beulah.
Yeah, well, if he does, I wish he'd do a little more reading.
By the way, Beulah, I forgot to tell you that I'm going to work for Loose Tooth in the new Streetcar Lunchroom.
Oh, yeah? Have you ever worked in a restaurant before, Harold?
Oh, sure. I once worked in a little old restaurant as chief cook for 3 years. But I finally quit 'cause it was too hard.
Cooking was too hard?
They refused to buy a stove. I'll see you, Beulah.
Harry, remember we were discussing Donnie's future at breakfast this morning?
Mm-hmm.
Well, tomorrow I'm going to drive little Linda Dawson to dancing school. And I thought maybe we should enroll Donnie there, too.
Good idea.
Uh-oh. I got a hunch Mr. Harry didn't hear what you said, Miss Alice.
Did you say dancing school?
See? You didn't.
Lots of little boys Donnie's age go to dancing school.
Listen, no son of mine's going to any dancing school.
But why, dear? Donnie'd love it, wouldn't he, Beulah?
Well, Miss Alice, I think...
Dancing schools are for sissies, aren't they, Beulah?
Well, Mr. Harry...
They are not, and he could have a lot of fun.
He'd ate every moment of it, wouldn't he, Beulah?
Well, I
This
think
is
that...
silly, Harry.
Of course it's silly.
All right, why don't we just leave the whole thing up to Donnie to decide for himself?
Okay, we'll do that.
Good, agreed.
Well, looks like Beulah has solved another family problem.
Well, baby, the lunchroom's coming along just great. What's new around the house here?
Nothing much. So Miss Alice wants Donnie to go to dancing school.
Well, that's a good idea. Good idea. The boy might grow up to be another Fred Astaire, Gene Kelly, or
Gregory Peck.
Gregory Peck.
Mm-hmm.
Beulah, baby, Gregory Peck ain't no dancer.
I know it, but who cares?
You've been listening to The Beulah Show, brought to you transcribed from Hollywood. Listen in tomorrow night at the same time to the new Beulah Show.
And that was Amanda Randolph as Beulah in Bill's Streetcar Lunchroom, as originally broadcast January 26th, 1954.